We had the RBI report really pressing on the banks to pass down the rate cuts. Can we expect borrowing and bank lending to pick up in the second half of the year, or is there a lot of caution about taking on more debt?
I think that there will be an increased passage of or transmission of the policy rate cuts we've seen. I think the bigger question is, like, when you have weak confidence, does that mean that the consumer with weak confidence is going to really go out and take advantage of lower interest rates? That's a question mark for us. I think that there would be some impact, but again, it's important not to exaggerate that impact. This is not a normal business cycle. If there's a slowdown in demand, there's a loss of confidence, and you've got to make up with it, and you can't make up for it by lower interest rates alone.
And still on India, I mean, that trade deal with the US is also something that a lot of markets are watching. Right now, negotiations, there are signs that, a deal could be hammered soon, but behind the scenes, do you think there's a stalemate? Because agricultural access is something that India has been fighting against to concede with the US. Do you think they can hold on that line, how they can toe that line, and what would a deal with the US look like?
So I think that that's going to be the stickiest point. I think as far as manufactured exports are concerned from the US, we'll open the doors to it with lower tariff rates, etc. Agriculture is a sticky point. And even though agriculture is now, 15% of GDP, the point is it provides a livelihood for a much larger share of the population. So that is one area that's going to remain stuck. The other thing is, if you were to sort of look at it from the Indian side, if you were to sort of, or the Trump administration finally moves to a world of universal tariffs, the 10% tariff rate, but now you have a trade deal with India that says, tariffs would be higher than that. That really puts India in a difficult position, because now you're going to have to renegotiate yourself to the universal tariff. So these are impediments right now.
If we don't get that trade deal, do you see a revision to India's GDP growth?
I would say unlikely. And the reason why I say it is, actually trade is a fairly small part of India's growth. So I wouldn't be too worried about it at this point in time in terms of impacting the headline GDP numbers. But yes, it does have an impact on corporate sentiment for sure, on investor sentiment for sure.
What would that look like in the second half of the year? Unless we get some certainty, are we going to get a lot of indecision, a lot of holding back on capital spending? And how is that likely to impact certain pockets of the Indian economy?
It will impact some pockets, but a small amount. Yes, we would like to see more certainty. And one of the things we've been tracking is that corporate investment in India does get impacted by global economic policy uncertainty. I mean, there's a fairly tight correlation between the two.